I believe it was the night before the Royal Rumble, and I mean not the night, the week before the Rumble. It was the SmackDown before the trial of Sami Zayn, and the fact that one look, one look from Sami to Paul changed plans, changed the direction, and gave us a Hollywood segment that we will always remember, and that was the trial of Sami Zayn. And it was the small details, it was the semantics, it was the small little thing of Paul glancing at Sami, almost like to say, "What the hell are you doing? What took you so long? Why didn't you run out here like your pants were on fire and you were doing what it took to put your body on the line for the tribal chief?" The same thing happened tonight. One look. This time, Michael Cole made sure to mention it on commentary and replay it because they know people like me noticed it, number one, and number two, we noticed it when Paul Heyman did it with Sami Zayn back in January, so we're going to notice it again tonight when Jey Uso and Sami Zayn exchange that glance. Because, in my opinion, it could be interpreted as Sami saying, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the Royal Rumble. Elimination Chamber. I'm sorry for everything." And Jay just saying, "What the hell did you make me do?" But you know what? Maybe you're right. Because the fact of the matter is, think about the subtlety. Think about the small things that they've done in this segment. Just in this segment, Jimmy and Jay, a tag team, the tag team champions, closed out SmackDown. Jay got a pop from the crowd. Sami got a pop from the crowd. The tag team champions closed out an episode of SmackDown. When was the last time that happened? When was the last time that happened and the tag team division was not clouded with people like main eventers, like Chris Jericho and The Big Show, or The Miz and Big Show, back when anybody who was anybody was winning the unified tag team titles? I'll give you a minute. When was the last time the tag team champions closed out SmackDown? When was the last time the tag team champions were the most talked about, one of the most talked about facts in WWE? One glance, one subtle, small detail makes a world of difference. And as Michael Cole said when SmackDown went off the air, Roman Reigns will be on SmackDown next week. And it's reasons like this, it's closing moments like this that make you as a fan want to tune in to the show next week, want to watch what Roman Reigns has to say and what happens next with the Bloodline, because they make it must see. They leave you on a cliffhanger and make you want to come back to find out what happens next. Because Jey Uso has been private. Jey Uso has not been out there every single week acting as business as usual. Sami Zayn doesn't even enter through the audience. He doesn't go through the entrance ramp anymore. Subtlety. Small subtleties of Sami and Jey both coming through the crowd, because Jey came through the crowd when he defended the titles with Jimmy a few weeks ago against Braun Strowman and Ricochet, and did not come down the ramp. Now, I'm not saying that this means that Jey Uso is going to break apart and not be a part of the Bloodline anymore. This doesn't mean that Sami Zayn is not going to face Jey Uso at WrestleMania in a tag team or a singles match. This means that WWE is playing the long game. That WWE realizes it is only February and they do not need to make the move now. They could drag it out a little more. They could have Jay disappear from television for another couple weeks and then bring him back to have him come face to face with the tribal chief and have everything be aired in that very ring, because fact of the matter is, this all started with Jay and Roman during the pandemic, during the Thunderdome era. And imagine the reaction when Jay was standing in the ring with his cousin for the first time in 10 years. Jey Uso was getting an opportunity to challenge for the World Championship. Jey Uso was main eventing pay-per-views. Jey Uso was tearing down the house every single time he was out there with his cousin Roman Reigns, and the crowd wasn't there to enjoy it. The Bloodline has been the talk of WWE since the age of the pandemic. And the fact of the matter is, it all started with Jey Uso. It continued when Jimmy returned from his shoulder injury. And it developed from there. It is a rare sight. It is a rare thing to find in WWE that they actually tell a story over the course of not weeks, not months, but years. This story has been developing for years. And in my opinion, it started with Jay, and it doesn't end with Sami. Sami is a chapter, and his story is wrapping up. Because in my opinion, when Cody Rhodes defeats Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn have some unfinished business, in my opinion, that needs addressing, because the fact of the matter is, Sami, Cody, that's money in my opinion. Or maybe Sami will become Mr. Money in the Bank. But Roman will likely take time off after WrestleMania, much deserved time off after WrestleMania. And the fact of the matter is, why not let Jey Uso take the lead of the Bloodline? Why not let Jey Uso become the head of the table? Why not let Jey Uso become the main event that he was 3 years ago? And let him build to a feud with his cousin. Sami doesn't need to beat the Tribal Chief to become a star. Sami Zayn has become a star on his own. But one look, one glance says it all. Sami says to Jay, you don't need them. Remember 3 years ago. Remember the manipulation. Remember the gaslighting. Remember what he did to make you join him. Remember the torture, the punishment he put Jimmy through to make you give up, to make you choose your family over personal success. But that was 3 years ago. You don't need him. You're capable of standing on your own 2 feet, and you proved that 3 years ago. This is when, if I was Sami, I would go back and put through the archives, thumb through the archives, and show Jay who he was when he stood face to face with Roman Reigns 3 years ago. Because Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, and have that put the bow on the end of the Bloodline, would be something that I think they could put SummerSlam on the shoulders of of Jay and Roman, and that would be enough to sell out a stadium and give people what they want, because the last time this match happened, nobody was there. And there's money in Jay versus Roman. I'm not saying the Usos should split up. I'm not saying the Usos should not be a tag team. But the fact of the matter is, you don't need to split the Usos up to have Jay feud with Roman. You can have Jay feud with Roman and keep the Usos together. Because you don't need to split up a tag team to give the tag team a singles feud. It's just a foreign idea to WWE to give tag team wrestlers main event level singles feuds because they don't believe in the tag team division. Well, this should prove that they should. This should prove why they should, because Jey Uso and Jimmy are two of the most talked about features in WWE, and it's because of Jay and Jimmy. It's because of the bloodline. It is because of Sami Zayn. It is because of the Usos. And it is because of the Tribal Chief that the bloodline has become the most talked about part of WWE in the last 2 decades. One glance. One look. Did you catch it? Did you miss it and only saw it because of the replay? What do you think about it? And also, will you be watching next week when the Tribal Chief appears on Smackdown? Will Cody Rhodes appear on Smackdown? I don't remember the last time a road to WrestleMania was this hot, was this heated, and improving with every week. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.